Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, November 6th. We will have a significant cold front moving across the Great Basin here today through the weekend, and then also additional cold fronts next week. This will significantly change our weather across the Great Basin. First, initially today, we will have much stronger winds in the area shaded in brown over much of Utah, Nevada, and up into eastern Idaho and Wyoming, where wind gusts will exceed 40 to 50 miles per hour, and relative humidity will remain between 15 and 20%. In these areas, we have had new fire activity, recent lightning, and also very critical fuels still with how dry conditions have been, so these winds could be very significant today before the cold front brings cooler and wetter conditions. We will see some showers and possibly some isolated thunderstorms over northern and western sides of the basin today. And then as we move through Saturday and Sunday and the strong cold front sweeps through the Great Basin, we will see a sharp decline in temperatures where highs in the areas shaded in blue will likely not reach above the 40s. And we'll also have some additional precipitation bringing some rain and snow showers to the Great Basin, with some areas seeing some fairly good new snowfall, especially over the northern half of the region. Windy conditions will push east on Saturday and Sunday to the eastern half of the Great Basin, but relative humidity will be increasing and will likely remain above 20 or 30%, but still these winds will be quite strong at times through Saturday and Sunday over the eastern half of the region. We've had no recent precipitation or lightning over the last 24 hours, but again, that will be changing here moving forward. We have had a couple of new larger fires up across Idaho reported, and then some smaller fires around the Great Basin. Over the last 7 days, we did have some lightning earlier this week, bringing some very light showers over the southern areas of the Great Basin. Most areas did not see wetting rains, just brought some lightning. However, any precipitation has been well below normal for the time of year over the last 2 weeks. Fuel conditions still remain critical over the southern half of the Great Basin, where ERCs in some areas are between the 80th and 90th percentile. And these ERCs are still well above records for the time of year, even though they have come down over the northern and western half of the region. You can see from the upper right map across Idaho, where we did see a recent new large fire over the last 24 hours. ERCs are well above records for the time of year, even though they are below the 80th percentile. Further south, again, ERCs, even though they are higher, are certainly well above normal and near records for the time of year. 10-hour fuel moisture remains most critical across the western half of the Great Basin. Looking at our satellite image from this morning, you can see the strong area of low pressure over the northwest California coast. This area of low pressure and strong cold front will be pushing eastward, and again, this will be responsible for our stronger winds, our significant cloud cover across the region today, and then also our colder temperatures and precipitation going through the weekend. So for later today, again, you can see the moisture. We will see some showers over northern and western sides of the Great Basin, although it should be fairly light. And then we could see some isolated thunderstorms with the moisture over the eastern sides of the Great Basin. But it's really the stronger winds that will be the main story, and we have a large area of high risk with also some red flag warnings over much of Nevada and into the western half of Utah and the Arizona Strip for these strong winds and still drier conditions in critical fuels. Looking at the winds for later today, again, you can see they are already gusty this morning and will just continue to increase throughout the day. This area in purple will be wind gusts in the mid-40s, so we will see those stronger winds today in most areas. And then you can see the relative humidity. Some areas still down into the single digits, but many areas in the teens where these winds will be impactful today. As we move into Saturday, the cold front moves into western sides of the Great Basin, so much colder temperatures and showery conditions over western and northern areas, where again high temperatures dropping down into the 40s. And then we will push those gustier winds further east, but we will see additional moisture moving up from the south, so relative humidity will be increasing. So we don't have any high risk for Saturday for parts of Utah, but again, expect those strong winds, so areas that don't see the moisture could see a potential impact on Saturday. Here are the wind gusts for Saturday. You can see the areas in brighter pinks, purples, and even some browns, indicating wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour or higher. Again, looking at the relative humidity image, you can see those relative humidities remain above 25 to 35%, so certainly higher RH, but even north up into Idaho, where relative humidity will be in that 30 to 40% range, we will have those stronger winds where we have had some recent large fires. So certainly something to watch for tomorrow. On Sunday, we get another reinforcing shot of colder air and moisture from the north, so we will see a significant drop in fire potential in all areas on Sunday, but still some gusty winds over the eastern areas of Utah on Sunday. As we move into Sunday afternoon, you can see where the strongest winds will be located over the southern and eastern half of the Great Basin. Still breezy winds as we get these secondary shots of colder temperatures and low pressure systems dropping down from the north. So cold, breezy north winds expected behind the front. Again, much colder temperatures and much higher humidity region-wide along with those showers. Forecast amounts of precipitation are indicated here. You can see most of the higher terrain will certainly get some new snowfall and some significant amounts over parts of Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming, and even the Sierra. Elsewhere in the lower elevations, precipitation will be a little bit more showery, but it will be a mix of rain and snow at almost all elevations over much of the Great Basin. Going into next week, this main storm system moves off to the east, but we do have another weaker area of low pressure dropping south for another cold front going into Monday, Tuesday. So this will reinforce our cooler temperatures and higher humidity and also bring additional moisture in early next week, keeping fire potential lower. On Tuesday, that area of low pressure drops into northern areas. So expect again some breezy winds to continue, but also bringing some moisture and continuing cold temperatures and higher humidity. Similar conditions on Wednesday as that next secondary front moves off to the east, but we will see another front dropping down for the middle of the week, bringing additional moisture towards Wednesday, Thursday over the northern half of the Great Basin. So all in all, we will see a sharp decline in our fire potential. However, we will still have periods of gusty winds, but certainly colder temperatures, additional moisture, and higher humidity. Our 7-day total precip is indicated here. Again, just continuing to see some shots of lighter precipitation after this main cold front. Then the 8 to 14-day outlook, taking us from November 13th through the 19th, shows that colder pattern and wetter pattern really settling in to the northwest part of the country, impacting the northern half to 2/3 of the Great Basin. That concludes our webcast for today. We will be transferring into our off-season format with our smoke dispersion and briefing next week, but we will likely continue to have one more fire potential briefing on Saturday prior to that. Have a great day.